Okay, good afternoon, colleagues. First of all, I would like to thank the organizers for the invitation to this important conference, high-level conference, on a really important topic, which is digital transformation for tax administrations. Um, if this works someday, okay. Okay, why digital transformation is important? Digital transformation is not only a specific process to change technology. Digital transformation is about change across people or human talent, across processes, across data, across technology, and overall, this is a change on regulations, laws, and decrees. Why this is important? Because this is the ideal path to transform or modernize a tax administration. Why digital transformation should be the unifying theme in this conference and for a tax administration? Because it's important because it's expected that a tax administration should transition from the current business model to a new digital business model. And this digital model should be driven by the taxpayer orientation, integrated paperless processes, multi-channel delivery, and real-time processing. And in addition to these topics, we have to be able to create a data-driven decision-making and a compliance risk management framework for the tax administration. However, digitalization or modernization is not an ICT project or IT project, right? It is an operating model that enables simpler compliance, stronger enforcement targeting, and a sustained revenue gains. So in the past, most of the people, hopefully not you, people believe that digital transformation is an IT project. So please forget this because it's not an IT project, and you will see why. And finally, modernization should be designed as a managed transition. Keep existing systems operating, which is fundamental, and reducing the risk of collapse of your current systems. And of course, we have to progressively migrate to a modern integrated system. What is the World Bank digital transformation approach? We believe that two main pillars or topics are mandatory. One is that the digital transformation should be holistic, comprehensive, and the second one should create capacity building within the tax administration and other stakeholders. And for that, we need three elements that should be part of these holistic and capacity building pillars. The first one is the most important, ownership. It's a deep understanding of the tax administration long-term reform trajectory. The second one is sustainability, which is extremely important as well. When we talk about sustainability, we are talking about that we have to be able to consider it that the overall enabling environment of the public sector should keep alive. And the third one is continuity. Ongoing collaboration allows the IT sector and tax administration as a whole to build trust and take advantage of the administrative, legal, and procedural opportunities of the domestic resource mobilization as they arise. So this is the overall picture of the approach that we have. But there are some binding constraints, which is business continuity while transforming. So after a long time of different implementation, digital transformation projects in different regions, We found out that a major operational risk is the fragility of legacy systems. Probably you are dealing with this right now, or you will deal in the future. But in addition to that, another issue is the loss of experienced ICT staff. It seems that the tax administration or the public sector is preparing, training ICT staff with good skills for the private sector. We saw this multiple times, that very experienced engineers or ICT staff, after 2, 3, 4 years, they are captured by the private sector. So there are many issues that we have to address on this regard. And another topic is that many systems are at risk of collapse. Not all the regions or countries have these issues, but some of them certainly does. The other topic is that existing systems are vital for the tax administration. I mean the current ones. But often they are threatened by lack of maintenance plans or outdated platforms, and we need immediate actions to keep this, to reduce the risk. Therefore, usually or generally, we must address two paths in parallel. One is to stabilize and upgrade the current systems, and the other one is to design the target to be new core business model or new integrated system. What is the ideal path based in our experience? We propose 4 pillars plus some cross-cutting enablers that I'm going to explain one by one. The pillar number 1, or A, is called regulations and business process improvement. We call these rules and workflows. The second one is human talent, is called capacity and incentives. But with this human talent, or HR, we have to be able to change the organization and change the culture of our staff. The third pillar is called intelligent pillar. It's about data, interoperability, analytic, and risk. And the fourth one is the digital factory, or the technology part. It's about system infrastructure and cybersecurity. And now I'm going to start detailing one by one. Pillar A, as you remember, is about regulations and business process improvement. Usually, current processes are complex, are paper-based, and most of the time require simplifications, and we need to redesign before automation. You, for sure, already listening that there are pretty useful wording that is garbage in, garbage out. So the idea is to avoid this for the tax administration when we start a digital transformation modernization project. And for that, before that, before the key outputs, even when you already digitalize processes, you have to keep changing and improving these processes. New technologies are coming really fast, and using new technology means that we have to be able to improve and change and update and simplify processes all the time. It is not one single action to redesign a process. We have to keep the ball running all the time. What are the key outputs of this first pillar? The first one is the draft amendment of the tax administration legal framework. The second one is the as is and to be process mapping for the core business areas: filing, payment, audit, enforcement, tax arrears, all of them. You can choose some of them at the beginning, but you have to cover all of them if you want to go for an integrated, real integrated system. And finally, the third output here is the standard operating procedures for digitally enabled processes. We have to be able to design since the beginning this topic. Pillar B, as you recall, is human talent, is organization and change. So in this pillar, we have to remove the staffing and qualification limitations that are major constraint for the tax administration. The often severe turnover of the ICT staff, with I don't know if this is the situation in your countries, but based on our experience, we saw this multiple times in different regions and countries. And the limited training on human resources capacity in relation to modernize a tax administration. One thing is the ambitions, and a different thing is the real capacity of the staff. And for that, we have 4 key outputs in this pillar. The first one is we have to update the mandate and functions of the operating model, including the job profiles of our staff that should be aligned to the digital transformation or the digital model. Let me share an example. Right now, most of the tax administration and public sector institutions are working on cybersecurity. Cybersecurity is not only about job profiles that should include specific topics for the IT department or the ICT staff. If you want to certify, for example, in a standard for the ISO 27001 version 2022, you should be included for all job profiles, I mean for the whole organization, topics about information security, not only for the IT department. The second key output is the new restructured organization of the ICT department. Right now, there are new functions, there are new skills, there are new talented people working on this area, and most of the time, not all the time, we have to create teams which are dealing with InfoSec, DevOps, and so on. The third output is a digital platform, HR digital framework to track competencies, which is really important, that can allow new training, new recruitment needs, and so on. And finally, and the most important key output here is the change management program. We have to be able to communicate, to train, and to allow the staff to create key performance indicator, but also it's important now to introduce not only KPIs, we should be able to introduce PPIs, progress performance indicators, which is a good methodology to keep the ball running in digital transformation projects. The third one, the third pillar, is just to maximize the use of third-party data, defining a structured approach to collect, store, and use external, but also internal data within the tax administration, but also as a software plan to support analysis and compliance risk management. CRM is a key element in this pillar. And for that, we believe that 4 key outputs are important in this pillar. The first one is data governance strategy. That is extremely important within a tax administration or any public institution. And an implementation plan of this data governance strategy. The second output is an interoperability or data exchange layer that can allow to receive and transfer data for multiple purposes that you are aware of this in your daily basis activities. The third key output is the data warehouse and business intelligence and risk analysis framework and tools. We can start with something small and then we can scale, but this should be aligned to the compliance management or compliance risk management framework. And only if you are ready and you have the data in terms of quality and quantity, you can start piloting AI use cases in your tax administration. Currently, we are working with some countries and regions that we are implementing, for example, audit case selection processes, revenue forecasting, fraud control. But this is just if you have all the foundations or the basic topics already in place in your tax administration. We can discuss later on about AI if you are interested, but this is a topic that is a trend right now, not only here in this conference, I think everywhere. But remember, you have to walk first, and then you will be able to fly. And this is the same with the AI implementation solutions. Finally, Pillar D is the digital factory. Modernization usually requires investment, money. Nothing is for free, unfortunately, right? And this is basically because there are outdated equipment, insufficient tools, low integration, and sometimes limited analytical capacity, which is another topic that is extremely important for the use of artificial intelligence. And for the key outputs of this pillar, we have the stabilization and modernization of the core platforms. We have to modernize the digital infrastructure of our tax administration in terms of data center, disaster recovery site, new networking within the tax administration and in relation with the stakeholders, a new backup plan or business continuity plan, all the topics that are related to the BCP, Business Continuity Plan. The third one is a cybersecurity program, which is extremely important right now. Then the integrated automated system for the sustainable operation. I mean services desk, incident, problem change, incident management, everything that is related to the implementation of a new system. And the most important here is taxpayer-facing digital services expansion and improve usability and accessibility. And when we talk about usability, UX, it's important to consider this topic as a core element in the design of our systems. It's not the same to have an integrated system that to get some information, you have to click 10 times, that you can click one or twice and get the information rapidly. So UX or usability is a key topic, a trend in the design of a digital transformation agenda. But once we have the 4 pillars, what is the sequencing? How we can implement this? Based in our experience, we believe that we have to plan a realistic transitions that keep system running, the current ones, and prepare the new one for the future. So we implement this sequencing in different countries using 3 phases. The first one, we call it stabilize and design the future, which is basically to create steering committees or creation of the program management offices. We have to improve the capacity of the procurement people, and we have to create the change management backbone in terms of communications and in terms of training. We have to stabilize the critical systems that are running right now. We have to launch the legal review work and prioritize the design of the processes, registration, payments, filing, audit, arrears, appeals, all of them. We have to start designing the data governance and identifying the priority third-party data that we will use for the data warehouse and business intelligence in the future, short-term future. And we have to be able to procure ICT infrastructure for the transition only. Then you will see that we'll still have time for the procurement of the rest of the IT infrastructure. Phase 2 is build core enablers and deliver it quick wins, is just to expand e-services and usability. We have to implement in this phase the data warehouse and business intelligence and risk analytics. We have to start the design, the integrated automated system, the new one. We have to start with the cybersecurity gap control program. And we have to start here in this phase, the procurement process for the new infrastructure in technology. And finally, phase number 3 is called scale and migration. We have to implement the major modules, the core system or modular modernization, run parallel operations, and migrate progressively or gradually the system. This can be done through outsourced, in-house development, procure system. All of them are valid. It's just a decision that belongs to the tax administration. We have to start working on the CRM, compliance risk management, that should be centralized, but considering all the functions of the tax administration. When we talk about CRM or risk, it's not only about tax audit function. We are talking about since the beginning, or from the beginning. Once the taxpayer is registered, and once the taxpayer is in a tax appeal process or tax litigation process, all of these processes are part of the risk management framework. And finally, consolidation of the organization on HR or human talent in terms of workforce plan, new job families probably, sometimes, compensation measures for IT retention, and everything that makes an easier life for the tax administration staff. There are many practices, good practices, bad practices, but in terms of time limitation, I'm going to highlight only some of them. First of all, we have to start with a strategic roadmap. If we don't have a strategy, we cannot go ahead. In terms of our enabling operation model, we have to manage new technology groups within a framework. There are new technologies, there are new processes, there are new events that we have to bring tax skills close to each department of the tax administration. In terms of design, we have to start with a good initiatives using pilots, sandpits, and a phase approach. And we have to consider a formal change management program during this agenda. We have to measure, learn, and sustain. What this means? Do you remember that I talk about KPIs and PPIs? Key performance indicators, performance progress indicators. These are important because if we cannot measure, we cannot improve, right? So this is another topic that is important that you have to consider when you are going for a digital transformation agenda. You have to manage the results about the change management of stakeholders. It is important because your client is not only the taxpayer. You have other stakeholders as a client, internal and external. For example, the Ministry of Finance. You have to manage the workforce, as I already mentioned, in terms of human talent. And this is the overall picture of what we are looking with the digital transformation and modernization approach. And what is the main outcome of this approach? We would like to have an intelligent-led tax administration. In terms of sophistication, the idea is to jump from descriptive tax administration to a prescriptive tax administration. And in terms of maturity, you should be able to go from a basic maturity to an evolved maturity. What this means, it means that once you are jumping or going the different stairs of this graph, if you are able to go to the advanced maturity and prescriptive level, you will be able to use AI, machine learning, LLMs, multidimensional data visualization, trend analysis, and data-driven data discovery. The idea is that your tax administration should be digital by default. What are the key takeaways of this presentation, or I'm trying to share with you? The central challenge facing tax administration today is not whether technology exists, but whether institutions can adapt rapidly enough to deploy it effectively, right? And digital transformation offers a powerful and strategic pathway to modernization, one that requires a whole of the institution's commitment, not only the IT department. This is a common effort and endeavor for the whole tax administration. If you are thinking to modernize just creating tools and you don't have the capacity in terms of HR, processes, regulations, and laws, your digital transformation is not a digital transformation process. I think I'm going to stop here because I don't have much time. But thank you very much for your attention. And if you have any questions, I think we will have a session after the presentation on Q&A. Thank you so much.